everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Deloitte Women's Premier League show. And of course, today I'm joined by two more guests from Still Aaron as well as the champions, Lion City Sailors. We'll get down to them in a bit, but of course, a bit of a reminder that today we have highlights from all the action from the last week, so stay tuned for that. And of course, you guys can get involved and share this video with your friends, and of course, let them know that we have a couple of weeks left until the season ends. So, stay tuned, because we're going to be really excited to, I guess, crown the champions, and you guys get, a little bit of insight, about how they got to that stage. And of course, today we are joined by Khairunnisa from Sailors. Thank you so much, Nisa, for joining us. And of course, Nurul Faizah from Still Aaron as well.
Thank you.
Before I start, I just want to say that you two were very requested by the fans. So I hope that whoever's watching, you guys are happy that we've got both Nisa and Faizah as well joining. So let's start, with you, Nisa. A little bit about, the fact that LCS was just crowned the champions. Congratulations on that. So
thank you for that.
Let's get your reactions, and then how you feel about that.
I feel very proud of the team for all their efforts because it hasn't been a difficult journey. Many of the players were away time to time for national duties, and there were also some players busy with work and school. So with the limited time that we have, we tried as much as possible to gel together and create our chemistry so that we can play our game and show a good game for the fans. So I know we're already crowned as the title champion, but there are still 2 games left. So it doesn't hit me yet till we're already done with the season and we already lift the trophy. So we're still in the game and trying to stay humble and yeah.
Wow, well said, Nisa. Stay humble and you're relatively young. I think many of y'all who might be watching this, she's actually one of the youngest players in the league. So that sounds, what you just said is actually I would say quite someone older than your age, who would say, but that's pretty good. So congratulations on that once again. Nurul, just a quick word. Of course, can we get your reactions as well? I know Still Aaron had quite a season as well, an impressive season. A couple of your teammates have been on the show. So, your thoughts on your season and also a bit of reaction about Sailors winning as well.
I will just start with congratulating you all.
Thank you.
I think you all had a great season, so I'm not surprised that you all were crowned champions even before the league ends. But more for my team, I think relatively it was quite a tough season for us because there were a lot of strong teams. A lot of strong teams for us to compete with lah. But with our given circumstances, because our team we went through quite a bit of changes through this season. I think I'm very proud of how the team took it in our stride to just take on the challenges without fear. Then I also think that there are a lot of positives that we can take away from this season, and I'm quite excited for the next one.
Yeah, as you said, great stuff about taking positives because the season was not an easy one, not just for you guys, but across the league. I'm sure it was not easy for you guys to win the league as well. And that brings me to my next point because, for Sailors especially, you guys have had fans coming to your games, not just for the women's team, but they sometimes go and watch the men's and the women's team. And I saw some of them at your last game as well, just cheering, the crew, I believe. So, Nisa, I want to know what you think about that support, about all the fans who make their way to watch you guys at the stadium, at Yishun Stadium.
We're always very grateful for the LCS fans and the LCS family for taking their time and effort to come down even after the men's game. Their support really mean a lot to us because it does give us the motivation to always push harder and improve our game to show them a good game. Yeah.
And Nurul, she's talking about fans, but I want to ask you, besides LCS, right, which team would pose the biggest challenge for you this season at Arian?
That's a good question.
Say it.
So my position, I actually play the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
So for me personally, I'm not sure if my teammates might resonate with this, but for me, I think Tanjong Pagar was quite a challenge for me because being in my position, right, I think that they have really a lot of strong attackers that stood out to me, and they are very strong in making plays. So it was really a challenge for me to deal with it, especially being in my position. So I would say that Tiong Bahru would be my
Tiong
answer.
Bahru.
Yes.
And for yourself, Nisa, I mean, the like strong opponents. I've heard Tiong Bahru because they've been around for a while now and they've got a strong grassroots team. But what about the other teams? Anyone in particular?
Definitely, like the remaining two teams that we are gonna play against are two strong teams. They both have their own qualities, and it will give us a challenge. So because like they have very compact defense and very like
Strong attack. Is it Tanjong Pagar? I believe was one of them, right?
yeah, Tanjong Pagar.
Yeah.
So it will pose us a challenge, but we will still try our best to fight. You know.
Okay, since you mentioned some strong teams, right? I want to ask both of you, maybe for yourself as Nurul, what has been your favorite moment from the WPL with Arian? Any standout moments? Any standout game for you?
Standout games. Generally, because this is my first WPL season, right?
So and congrats on that.
Thank you. I think the transition itself, like it was quite a tough season for me. So, but I really enjoyed the challenge, I would say, because the intensity and the level of gameplay is a lot higher. So, in general, that was like a highlight for me because I enjoyed playing. But I would like to say that my games with maybe the first game with LCS was my highlight because it was very action-packed for me and I really enjoyed it. To me, it stood out, the actions.
Yeah, really well.
Oh, thank you.
Wow, that's so nice to see that support. Congrats as well on your first season and hopefully more to come for you as well.
Yes, I hope so.
And Nisa, for yourself, any particular highlight, any favorite game you had?
I think one of my favorite highlight was when I scored a goal against Hougang United. I mean, it was a lucky goal, but thankfully, I'm grateful that the ball still went in the net. But if I could add on, is also moments when the whole team celebrate together after a goal.
Yes.
Because definitely, each goal is always a team effort. So yeah.
Okay, and who are you closest to in LCS? Like, we have many national players in the team. Do you have like a bestie and you're particularly close to?
I'm particularly close to Umaira and Venetia and Fatin. Yeah, they're usually like the ones that I go to like for motivation or support, and like they also give me like advice or like tell me ways that I can improve on myself, and also like they're the ones that have seen my development since young, because we have been playing together since young, from even like when we were in primary school.
Wow.
Yeah, till now in the national team. So I think we have created a strong bond together.
So essentially, you guys have grown up together.
Yeah.
From primary school all the way to the national team now. That's fantastic,
Awesome.
Amazing. And it's good to know as well that some of them were on our show like Venetia as well before. So, long may it continue for you guys,
Yeah.
And for Nurul, I just want to ask you as well, who are some of the other players? I mean, since it's your first season and as a goalkeeper especially, you get to see some of great players, right? So, anyone in the WPL who has impressed you so far? I mean, you can mention the LCS, but I would love to know as well any other players. Especially in 1v1 situations.
I'm not going to mention you.
It's okay. It's okay.
Anyway, like I mentioned just now, Tiong Bahru was like a really strong team to me. So my answer is actually someone from Tiong Bahru, Ren.
Okay,
yeah,
wow.
she was on the show, right?
Yes.
Yeah, she came on. So because when the season started, I realized that she was playing for Tiong Bahru. So actually, Ren was my secondary school teammate, and she at that time she was really very good. So she had a lot of potential, but we didn't keep that close of contact. So I didn't know was still playing. So when I saw her this season, I was really impressed because she improved a lot and she's really very good now. So I'm happy for her. Yeah.
That's really good to know, I think it's very important to keep that support, especially in women's football, that can continuous friendship, which I find very different in men's football. You guys grow up together, for example, and like you mentioned as well, seen the growth as well. Okay guys, of course, in every week we have highlights for you from the previous week's action. So let's have a look at this week's highlights. let's have a look at the results. And here are the updated standings. And let's have a look at this weekend's games. So I want to ask you guys, besides football, how do you guys get fit, especially preparing for not just the season but for your games as well,
For me, outside of trainings, actually I do a bit of weight training. I enjoy it as well, but I think it also keeps my body in a better shape. So for goalkeeping, right, like I would say we there's a bit more focus on the upper body because it's like a whole body, like the diving and everything. So I want to keep like every part of my body in a better shape and to be, to keep the attackers away stronger.
Yes,
Yeah.
upper body. And for yourself, Anissa, how do you keep yourself like fit?
Usually, I would have training every day, but on top of that, when I have the time, I will go hit the gym time to time. But time to time. So, but like, I try my best to do some weight training, so that like when I go in for a tackle, I go in hard and strong. So it's more on my physical aspect.
I want to ask you all not just about your fitness, but how do you guys get started in football? Okay, so I want to know the story. How did you end up being a goalkeeper? And why that position? And just your journey in football. Yeah.
I would say mine is pretty mainstream, but I started in secondary school. So when I entered secondary school, then I just took on the football CCA because I had a bit of interest and I wanted to explore the interest. And then when I started, I remember right at the start, my coach at that time is Xiao Xuan, their coach now. She did like a mini test for like a few of us to see our like ball handling to basically see who can be potential keepers. And then I was one of them that she chose to be a keeper, like two of us, and then ever since then I just stayed a keeper. But I'm quite glad that happened because I really enjoy this position and I don't see myself, I would not like to see myself playing another position. I really enjoy goalkeeping.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's nice to know. And for yourself, Nisa?
Mine for me is I started playing football with my brother under the void deck. Yeah, so like every time after school, I would join him and his friends to play soccer, and then from then on, I played for my primary school girls team, football team, which was called primary school, and then I got scouted for GSSR Arsenal, so I played there for a few years. And then luckily I went on for a trial for the youth national team, for the under 14 team. So ever since then I've been working my way up, so like from the U16 to the U19 to now the national women's team.
Wow, that's awesome. So, I love the story and congrats as well for both of you. Hopefully long may it continue. And I just want to also ask you guys a bit of advice, because sometimes the girls watch this show and they want to go for a trial or they are not sure about themselves. And I know both of you are still quite young, but do you guys have any words of advice for these girls who want to follow in your footsteps?
For those who might be interested in trying the sport, I would say it's never too late lah. But because I have a lot of teammates that start at a later age, so maybe late teens or 20s, but they are still very they are able to make the most of it. And honestly, in Singapore's scene, we are given a chance to improve lah. So there's a lot of teams, like even my team, like Stay Area, we are very inclusive. So we will help you grow. So I just think that you
just go for it.
Just don't be afraid. Yeah, just go for it.
Yeah,
nothing to lose. Yes.
I think speaking of Still Aaron, you mentioned that I noticed that also about all the players, and they always, I think it was Umaira or some of your teammates that came on the show, and they said that when they first came for first training, they always felt very welcome. Was that how you felt when you first came, first joined? So
yeah, like you mentioned, I think the one thing that stood out for me in the Still Aaron team is that they are very positive and encouraging. So it's always like it's a good environment to grow in. They give like a very positive support, and then like a lot of my friends there are really very encouraging, and it helps me a lot in improving.
Wow, fantastic. And for you as well, Nisa, you mentioned you started out in school and everything, right? But when you joined Lion City Sailors, right, I want to know like what was your first impression of the club, and what do you enjoy the most?
I would say that the club is very developed as compared to other clubs. It has now has more facilities for the players to use, like the gym and the fields. Definitely, I was a bit scared because Lion City Sailors is up there, so the expectations and is quite high. So and the commitment it has to be there. So, but then I think I guess.
Yeah, it keeps you going, right? Challenges you. You mentioned about the facilities and all that, and being, I guess, pushing yourself. You have to push yourself, right? Especially challenges in football, and I guess family is also very important. Which brings me to my next point. How has the support been from you guys, family, and your friends as well, towards your career in football?
I think I'm very glad to have very good support from my family and friends. Some of my closest friends are actually in my team, which is Ira Lim. So I'm glad we get to meet very often in trainings, and then they always want the best for me. So for example, after games and stuff, they will help me point out my mistakes, things I can work on. So things feedback like that I really appreciate, because I will look into it and then work on it on the next game. And it has also been proven to be very helpful for me. This season is it was a very a season full of growth for me. So I appreciate that.
And I want to ask you, I mean, family of course very important, but Nisa, I mean, because you're, like I said earlier on the show, still relatively young, what are some of the challenges you have faced personally, trying to make your name and also in this industry, and how do you think, you've overcome it?
I guess one of the challenges is balancing my time with school and work and football. Definitely is a hustle. So to go to school, and then after that, I have to still attend football trainings. It's a repetitive every day.
Yes.
So I think it comes with the passion to do it, and to be able to do that commitment is never easy, never is tough. So I think the support from my friends, my teammates and my family to keep myself going, to push myself harder, is very important. They have always been supportive of me in my career as a footballer. So yeah.
That's very nice to know. I think, I guess in this show, a good thing every episode is that we always learn, not just from you, but the predecessors, all your other guests, about the challenges they face. And as a word of advice and inspiration to all the girls who would like to play in the Deloitte WPL next time. And I just want to, before we end the show, just a bit of, a message for you guys, from each of you, for all the fans of the WPL. We will start with you first.
Okay. For those that have been keeping up and watching the WPL matches, I wanna say thank you, because without supporters, it would be hard for us to have the motivation to go on top of our passion for the sport. So I really appreciate the support from the fans or the family and friends. Yeah.
Yay! And Nisa, for yourself?
With this, I want to take the chance to once again thank LCS, the club, the LCS fans and the LCS family for all the constant support. And also to everybody else that has been constantly watching the Women's Premier League. Thank you very much for watching us play. And I hope that through this it can raise more awareness in women's football in Singapore.
Oh, well said, ladies. Thank you so much to both of you all for joining me. And of course, I wish you all the best. And hopefully we'll see you in the national team one day. And also for yourself, continue to fly the flag high for our national team. And of course, I hope that you guys have enjoyed today's episode. And of course, do follow these two ladies. I've left their lower thirds here and their Instagram to catch up with them and see how they're doing. And continue to support the WPL as well. My name is Ash from Futbolita, and I'll see you guys next time.